Well, not much happened this past week. I hope everybody had a good holiday, Thanksgiving. After I delivered that load down there in Jacksonville, I think I did hit it all the way to the house. And I didn't do anything this week. I did do something yesterday. Yesterday was Saturday. And about 8 miles from here down the road, we've got Kimberly-Clark. And I checked on the load board for Amazon, and they had a bunch of loads going from Kimberly-Clark to the Amazon facility, trailer returns. And they had them for $200 a piece, going 23 miles. Good thing with Amazon is you just run in there, grab the trailer, hook up to it, you go over there, you drop it off. And I said, you know what? I said, I can probably get 2 or 3 of these. It ain't a lot of money. It's like $600, but it's like 20, 40, 60, 80, maybe 120 miles. So I was bored anyway, tired of sitting at the house, so I went ahead and took them. And but it kind of worked out to the better. Instead of getting $200, I got $175. I got over there to pick the things up. The trailers were already loaded. They never did empty them. So I got $175 for truck order not used. And then I was already on the premises, so I booked another load that was going to Amazon. And when they sent me the trailer, it also had a seal on it, meaning that it wasn't emptied yet. So I took that one and got another truck order not used. Then I came back home, and on my way back to the house, which, like I said, I live 8 miles that away to the Kimberly-Clark plant. And then about 18 miles that away, I've got the Amazon facility in Appling. And so they had a load over there that was just moving 3 trailers from their yard to the facility across the street. I mean, it's literally out the gate, straight across the street into the other yard. I don't know why they don't just use their yard jockeys, I don't know, but I got $250 for that load. So I ended up with $175, what is that, $325 plus the $450. I mean the $250. I think it was right at $600 is what I got for the day. So anyway, I thought I would come out here. Remember last week when I was talking about my little plug? I was able to find them last week down there in Jacksonville. I had called so many places trying to find this little plug. And all it is, it's like this right here, if you can see it or not. It's just a little plug, and it comes with its own little terminal connectors on the inside. I gotta wrap the wires in these little terminal connectors here, and then pop them into here. But I just gotta connect. I gotta cut this plug off underneath the truck, hook the wires to here, and then plug them into the right order into here. I get that done, then I should have my heater control valve back to working the way it should. It's getting to be a pain in the ass. You know, it's winter time down here, but one day it's 70 degrees. You wake up in the morning, it's 40 degrees. So you got to keep opening that valve, closing the valve off. If you're up in north all day long, you just crack it open and just leave it open, and it's not too bad. Oh, this is the heaviest hood in your life. Get a hernia trying to open that thing. Probably you can't see down in here, but this cable here is pretty long. So here's the factory plug, and here's my replacement plug. I don't know if you can see up in here or not, but you can see this little pin right there. This is what I was complaining about. Right up in there, that plug right there is the one that was broken. And at one point I did stick a paper clip in there. I just went in there and put a paper clip in it, and it sort of made contact most of the time, but it kind of wasn't at other times. So now I just need to strip these wires back. This plug has got 6 pins in it. but one of them isn't used. So I'm gonna lay this up here. And there's 2 green wires. I should have made note of that. I don't know if they're both the same. They can't be the same. Probably done screwed up now. Now I got a 50-50 chance of getting it wrong. I'll go ahead and start with this yellow wire on the bottom. I would like to solder these things on. See, this thing here is just, you start trying to fold these things to pinch itself, then you end up crimping your plug, and then it don't plug into your connector so good the way you think it will. All right, so that one's got good contact. I'll just go ahead and put all the plugs on all of them and get that out of the way. All right, well, all the plugs are in. I wish there was a little bit of a color change in those 2 green ones right there, but they are exactly the same color. And I'm not sure if they're both just ground. Maybe they go up here to the same place. Yeah, so there's 2 grounds coming in. I don't know if they're separate or if they're different signals or what, but that could be a problem now. Let me put this back up here like this, and we'll start plugging them in. You plug these things in backwards and you're just screwed because you can't get them back out. Then you'll be done pulled the ends off. That's what I need to do before I even get started here. I do need to put a little tab of solder on there or something. The only thing about when I start trying to solder, then I end up screwing up the wires more. Here lately, it seems like every time I try to solder something, the solder never gets absorbed into the wiring connection. But let me go try that. So I've got my soldering gun out. I got me a pair of vice grips and I clipped it right onto here just so I have something to sort of hold this thing on. Now I'm using soldering paste. That helps the flux of the soldering glue in theory. I'm just going to get a little dab in here and just rub it right on the wires. That should help the solder to run into the wires. We'll see if it works. I never have much luck with soldering. And then I'll just get this thing hot. And if I can even do that, this thing's awkward. There we go. I think I got lucky today. That's 1 of 5. Yep, got lucky on that one. Let's try the next one. Hey, getting very lucky. It's taking the solder straight into the wires, right onto the fitting, so that's good. The reason I'm doing that is if I have to pull the thing out for some reason, you know, and another thing, it does a better job. So let me move these other wires around. Just do a little wash, rinse, and repeat here on the flux. Wow. This is the best soldering job I've ever done. I was doing something on my trailer wires last month, and no matter what I did, I could not get the wire to take the flux to save my life. It just run off of it like it was water on wax. Got one more to do and I'm finished with this. All right. Well, that went better than expected for a change. If your luck is like mine, every time you try to do something, nothing ever works out right. Just like I was trying to do my trailer lights last month the proper way and solder the ends in. All right, so that's all done. Now, if I can just get these plugged into the right spots, I'll be doing really good. It's going to go in the top right this way, and the prong has got to go down, so it's going to go in there just like this. That one's in. Then straight on the other opposite corner, it's going to be this brown one. Is that brown or purple? Okay, it ain't brown, it's purple. So across from the yellow, the opposite corner is going to be the purple one. And that one's in. Gray or black one there goes in the bottom center. The little tab pointing down. Harness is in my way. Got to make sure the little clip locks in the right place. That one's locked in. Now I got the two green ones. And I swear to God, they are the same color. I wish one was darker or something, had a line on it. I don't see no lines, no nothing. They just look the same. So I got a 50-50 chance on these two to get them right. Any, mini, money, mo. And see, that's the problem with this thing. See, that one there doesn't want to lock in. I'll put this one over here. See, that one snapped. For some reason, this one here is not snapping. I'm going to bend that little tab up. When you start bending these things, they get weak. Even with it bent up, it still, for some reason, is not locking in. So that little end right there needs to be redone. And I ain't got any extras to plug into it. At this point, I'm just going to plug it in, and I'm just going to have to zip tie the shit out of it and hope that it doesn't pull out. I mean, it's in, but it ain't in, it ain't locking. Why ain't it locking? It kind of locked in. No, it ain't locking in. I hate wiring. It's the worst thing in the world. You try to do things the proper way, the right way, and always something. It's a little chilly out here. My nose is running. Now, I've got to put this here actuator back in here. I just need to get a pair of pliers and rotate it a little bit. All right, the actuator's back on. Got to put the little screws back in it. These are a little bit of a pain. Let me go get the right size socket. And there we go, dropping some bolts. You get down there in the grass and you can't find them. It's hard to get these things in there. Started. That's two of them. Got one more to get. This is the hard one. It's behind these little hoses. Can't get your fingers back there to get it in the hole. It's behind 4 water hoses. Can't get your hand back there. All right, they're all tight. Let me go get me a zip tie and tie around these ends nice and tight. And that should keep them all together. All right, they're all into place. I've got a nice pair of dikes. I don't know where the things are at. I just used them a couple weeks ago out there in the front yard. They might be in the shed. All right, so I can plug this thing back in and I'll be back in business. All right, well, it's in. Whether it's working or not, I have no idea. The only thing I can do now is crank it up and set it to heat or cool and see if it opens up and cools back off. Go ahead and put all this stuff up so when I crank it up, it doesn't vibrate off the truck. It's going to take about 5 minutes for this thing to heat up. At least 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes or so. Let me bump up the RPMs. So these here are the plugs and the part numbers. Just in case anybody's wondering, the part number for that little pin section is called terminal case. I'll show you right here. Maybe it'll show up right there. Called terminal cross terminal. And that part number is CN26400. And if you need that little 6-pin plug that looks like this right here, has 5 wires on the back of it, little rectangle shape, looks like this, plugs in like that. And that part number from Kenworth is 120-52848. And it's called Connector Packard Female 6-Way. I'm going to save it in case it doesn't work. I may end up having to order another one if I can't switch those 2 green ones around. And like I said, when I ordered those little pins that go on the inside, it only came in a pack of 5. So I'll save those.